Hi Aquarius, welcome to your December reading. Now we're going to do things slightly differently because it's the last month of the year. We've made it through to the end of 2020. I've got weird lighting going on when I lean forward like that. The sun's reflecting in the window, but I'm grateful for the sunshine today because it's winter. Any kind of winter sun is always good. So we are going to do things a little bit differently. First off, we're going to have a look at things we can let go of. So if there is stuff that we've been doing this year that we don't want to bring through into 2021 with us, now is the time to have a check-in. We're then going to have a look at what we can just kick back and enjoy for the rest of the year. So good stuff that's coming up for the last month of December. And then we're going to get onto the juicy stuff and we're going to have a look at what we've learned. So far, most of the readings have turned up quite interesting bits and pieces on that spread. So that should be good. Also, if you're a cross-watcher, definitely go and check out the other star signs. And as always, that was terrible. As always, these are general readings, so please don't try and make them fit. If you want to book a private reading, my email is in the description box down below, and you can also book your 2021 reading, which will be a full 12-month breakdown of the year. So things that might be cropping up, how we can cope with things, how we can react to things, and things that we can kind of focus on and go for. So let's get cracking. Let's see what Aquarius can let go of and leave in 2020. Oh, and also we're using the vice versa deck today. I can't remember if I said that or not. We're getting to the end of the star signs. So the link for that deck is in the description box below as well if you want to check it out. It's a fantastic deck because it shows you both sides. And I just love being able to see both sides of an equation. Okay, so what can Aquarius let go of this year? Okay, so we've got a Wheel of Fortune. So interesting for me, Aquarius, that kind of, to me, that says that you've been trying to take control of situations and you've been trying to make the most out of it and you've been trying to do what you can, keep things in motion, keep things moving. And that's great. I'm all for it. It's in the upright, so it's great. It's a good version of the card. The other side is those Egyptian gods that try to, basically they're nasty. They're not great guys. I cannot remember what they do now. They try and like steal the sun or they do something like that. I need to read up a bit more on that. But the fact you've got the Wheel of Fortune in the upright for me, in the magician side of things, in a let go is a case of, it almost feels like you've been trying to push your own agenda for a lot of this year. And while there is definitely something to be said for going for your dreams and making sure that things happen, you also need to make sure that other people around you, other situations have their time to develop naturally, rather than going along to your time scale and your time frame. Sorry, I'm going to try and stop fidgeting forward and backwards because it does that weird thing to my face. Anyway, so my feeling first off is try and let go of taking control of the situations. Try and just go with the flow a little bit more. Let things happen naturally. Let things happen in the way that they are meant to happen, rather than trying to, because listen, there's one thing to manifest and magnetize and be open to the idea of things. Like, I thoroughly love the idea of that law of attraction moment of going, right, imagine what it will feel like when you've actually got what you want, what it is that you're going for. That side of manifesting. I don't know why I can't talk today. It's the second coffee. That kind of manifesting is great, rather than constantly pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, because sometimes we've got to just let the flow and let things happen naturally. Your next card's out though, and this is where it gets a little bit sour. We've got the Knight of Wands in your way view, and we've got the Three of Swords. Now, for me, if you feel this year you've spent a lot of time fighting to keep people in your life, fighting to avoid heartache, to avoid stress, to avoid sorrow, you know what's coming. Here comes Brene Brown. So listen, my initial reaction to this is stop trying to avoid the discomfort. Stop trying to take the easy route out. Stop trying to avoid upsetting. It might not be you, it might be other people. Sometimes you have to have those hard conversations in order for people to move on and people to grow. However, this is a let go spread. So my feeling is actually, just enjoy the glare on those. My feeling is actually that you need to let go of whatever it is that's hurt you and move past it. Stop going back. Like, it's that whole thing, you can't heal in the place where you were hurt. You have to get clear of situations. If situations haven't worked out for you, you need to get out of them. Because this is like riding back into the stress, into the darkness. into the unknown. Always a cue for a song. But if you're fighting to either to avoid this, or you're fighting against, because listen, the Three of Swords, it's a sad card. I don't like the Three of Swords at all because it shows sorrows and heartache and all those horrible things. But we do have to go through them, and like occasionally, sometimes not getting what you want is a marvelous stroke of luck. But also sometimes we need to have those down times. We need to have that stress so that we can really appreciate the good times and so it reminds us that things, even though it might seem stressful in the short term, things aren't always like that. And that's, like I was saying with the wheel being, one of those things that's cyclical, is the wheel will keep on turning. And it's down to you to recognize that will keep going and it will keep changing. And, you might be feeling at the bottom of the wheel today. Tomorrow, it might be your turn to be on the top and be having a lovely time. So, those would be my things to let go of. Okay, let's get it a bit more positive. Let's have a look at things we can look forward to, things we can enjoy, things we can just kick back and relax and not stress about for the rest of 2020. Because I think most of us have probably had enough stress this year. Although hopefully we've also had good stuff as well. I've definitely had a lot of good stuff this year. Okay, so Aquarius. Okay. So we just had that Knight of Wands out in the reverse view. He's now come out in the forward, which you can't see because it's super glary. Let me put it there, just so you can get a good vision of it. I love this deck, except with my light. So for me, listen, what you can look forward to is clear skies. This is where you've been. This is what we're letting go of. Is the stress, is the angst, is the arguments, betrayals. Yes, this is good for December. You can just relax. It might be that you've got a fire sign coming in towards you. If you're single, it might be that you've got a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, coming towards you and making some kind of offer, taking you out on a socially distanced date, if that permits. You've also got the Hanged Man. And listen, I really like the Hanged Man. I know he gets a bit of a bad rep sometimes for being lazy, but for me there's also a real sense of peace in this. Like the other flip side to this card is being able to being strung up and being able to see who it is that's done it to you. But actually, if we look at it this way round, he's kind of chilled where he is. And actually, you know what, if 2020 for you so far has been a bit of a roller coaster, you can relax and just enjoy the fact that the rest of this year, the last month of the year, is just going to be festive fun. Get your tree up, get into the Christmas mode, and just wind down. I'm hoping that doesn't mean you're going to be having to self-isolate, because that would be sad. But if you can just sit and relax for the rest of the year, brilliant. Regroup, gather your energy back in, because, pretty soon we'll be into a new year. We'll be all guns blazing, all systems go again, trying to get things going. Now, my only concern, the other thing we've got to enjoy here is this Five of Swords moment. And that, particularly if I was saying, if you've been struggling in the way that one of your things to let go of was the Knight of Wands in reverse and the Three of Swords, of like avoiding that heartache, avoiding that stress, maybe actually now is the time to just go into it. Like if you, for example, if you have been feeling that someone isn't communicating properly, that someone's not being honest with you, call them out on it. Push them into making decisions, because like sometimes when people don't make decisions or don't tell you and they're a bit wishy-washy and a bit easy breezy, and they're like, for example, if you're trying to meet up with someone and they're not miscommunicating, but they're not communicating as well as you want them to, call them out. Because this for me is one of those moments, like there's a winner and there's a loser. And unfortunately, the trouble is if people aren't honest, you're both losing. You're losing because you're stuck in a situation that you don't need to be in and you don't want to be in, but you haven't come up with the courage yet to get out of it. The other person's losing because they think you're in a situation that you're already mentally checked out of. And sometimes actually it sounds really awful to do it, but if you have that hard conversation with someone, for example, if you've been dating someone and you don't see it going anywhere and they want to see you again, be honest and just say, I'm sorry, I don't see it going anywhere. Be honest. Have that Knight of Wands. Clear those skies away. Be honest. Let someone, it might be hurtful in the short term. And this could be you, it could be someone else that you're dealing with. Take it which way it fits for you, which way it resonates. But once you get through that, because the fives are the conflict cards. It's that moment. But actually what you get out of that You know, the next card off the deck is the Six of Swords, which is the progress. It's moving things through. It's making transitional changes in your life for the better. It's coming out of stormy waters and into clear skies. But you have to go through that bit first, and that's the hard part. So listen, enjoy it. If you feel this is coming to you, if you feel you're doing this to someone else, it might not seem great in the short term, but it will do you good in the long term. Okay, here comes the good stuff. Let's see what Aquarius have learned this year. They took no time whatsoever. Literally, okay, we're going to keep going with this narrative for those of you who are feeling it so far, because we've got the Eight of Cups. So this for me is fantastic. Now I want to show you the other side of the card just because I think it's gorgeous. The Eight of Cups for me is the walking away moment. But this, if we take a look at it, is what you're leaving behind. And I always feel really sad for this little boy, because he's just like, hey, I've got loads to offer still. Why are you walking away? Oh. Oh dear, that shows it's real. Unedited. Getting down to the wire. Literally the wire. Oh God, it's moving again. I need a new light. If anyone wants to buy me a new ring light, that'd be wonderful. Joking. Don't do that. But listen, one of the big things you've learned is lovely. It's being able to walk away. It's knowing when to walk away. And it's like that. I adore the serenity prayer of, I adore it so much I always get it wrong. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. This is what that card is about for me. If the situation isn't working for you, get out. You know, if someone isn't giving you the effort you think you deserve, why are you there? Why stay? You know, like if you feel, you know, listen, there are definitely situations where it's harder to get out of a relationship. Of course there is. Of course there are situations like that. But if the situation isn't good for you, if the relationship isn't good for you, it's probably not good for your other half. And I'm going to keep going because we've got the Lovers on the bottom of the deck as well. So I'm going to keep going with this relationship situation. One of the best things you've learned this year is to walk away. So anyone who's cross-watching and dealing with an Aquarius, be warned, because they've had enough and they're getting out of there. Because actually, if you walk away, you get to really focus on balance with that Star card. This is your card. Lovely. But also, one, it's that healing thing. But again, here's the flip side to that card where she knows exactly what it is that she's manifesting and what she's working towards. Lovely. So listen, this way it's a bit more calm. It's a bit more about her rather than what she's working towards and what she's hoping for. But it's still great progress. It's still very much like just finding that moment of peace and tranquility. And actually, I think this is the thing you've learned, is that if you walk away, the peace and tranquility is yours. Don't stay in a situation if it's not good for you, if it's stressing you out, if it's leaving you in that stormy Knight of Wands. You know, the Three of Swords. Like if you choose to stay there, that won't change. If you leave, then you get the healing, you get the processing, and you can't, you know, it is that whole thing where you have to heal those wounds before you bleed onto the next relationship. And, you know, it is a cliche, but you can't heal in the same place that hurt you. Let's leave it there, because that was a lot. Okay, we're just going to have a quick look and see if there are any surprises in store for December for Aquarius, and then we will wrap it up. Because it's December, we've all got things to do. We don't want a big, long reading. Although, if you do want to book a private reading, obviously, as I said, my email is in the description box down below. So, any more surprises for Aquarius for December, please? Seven of Wands. I like that. This card for me, I always refer to it as my to-do list, because it's a case of like, right, line things up, put them in order, prioritise what needs doing when, what's time sensitive, what isn't, what cracks on. This for me is like, listen, I think there's going to be a surprise where you are forced into choosing a path. Because also, like, you know, the seven, if we look at like the Seven of Cups being the confusion situation, you know, there's loads of opportunities. The Seven of Wands can be kind of similar to that, where you've got different options, and at some point you're going to have to make that choice. Now listen, if that's to get out of a relationship, it's to get out of a relationship. If it is to get into a relationship, get into the relationship. But whatever it is, the time for choosing is going to be coming this month. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. If you've made it all the way to the end, drop me a little comment down below. Let me know what resonated. If you would like to get some more free content, my Instagram is down below as well, so you can follow me on there. I'm pretty much a bit more active on there than I am on here. And if you want to book a 2021 reading, drop me an email. If not, however you choose to spend Christmas this year, I hope you have a really, really good one. I'm already in my Tree Rex jumper, courtesy of the Natural History Museum. Thank God, please can the museums open up again, which I love that they're free. And then I end up going and spending money in the gift shop. But you know, that's what it's there for. Anyway, listen, have a lovely, lovely December, and I will see you all very soon. Take care.